this one. And I'll be curious to see how these lanes do go. You know, can Kana pop off in a way that, you know, some of our Akali players have, or will it kind of fall flat into Keen's Gragas? Obviously, Keen a extremely strong laner. So we'll see if Kana can kind of rise to the challenge up there. And this is another opportunity for Closer to kind of come out here and carry in early to mid game if he really begins to pop off. I think this is what people want. They want some kind of proof, you know, like, why isn't Faker playing?
Yeah.
Can Closer do something better? I think this is another opportunity for Closer to do just that.
Yeah, I think so too. Big pressure on him in this game, but I think he is going to have a fantastic second game. I've got a feeling we're going to a third game, Valdez.
Could definitely happen. Well, if we're jumping into game 2, first and foremost.
You've got all this, you know, you're fighting for your spot, you're Teddy, you're like, is Gamusha going to take my spot? I just don't feel like it can't be overstated.
It's an important point, but we got some points to make up in the top lane. Say Dread, a very fast rotation, and Kana just too far pushed down the lane, just gonna get burned down and taken for first blood.
Minus the bot lane, right? You know, the bot lane is where there's a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, we'll see how much that affects it. We're gonna have the collapse here from Afrika. Dread and Lahen's, or rather T1, Dread and Lahen's way too deep in the enemy jungle. As flashing over the wall here is Lahen's, he nearly gets hit by that Void Seeker. Just barely going to dodge to the right. As, you know, delay this rotation as much as possible. Dread's gonna get in position to try to burst someone down. We'll see how this goes.
Lahen's.
Oh boy,
no flash.
He might just be dead. Not able to get that Aftershock down, and Fly is going to be baited into this one as well. The last auto gets Fly as he is flashing away. Pretty unfortunate there. Collateral damage over the wall, and that is a nice couple of pickups now for T1.
This is huge. I mean, the thing is, you mentioned it, right? The kind of greedy slowdown attempt from Afrika Freaks to stop that rotation back down to the bottom lane so Bang can actually play the video game. He's like, thank you. I'm 20 CS behind, but, you know, I would like a little bit more space. And this setup here, I mean, it's a very aggressive setup to try to force the first member who checks to go back, but it's an amazing sleep from Closer. It's all you need. There's no flash on the Nautilus, and then Fly gets caught here as well. Like, the damage output has to be respected, and unfortunately, Bang, you know, he's gonna get this wave at least, but his advantage in the bot lane was very short-lived.
The Pantheon's just able to dive over. And speaking of Pantheon, we're trying to get on top of Fly. That's a really nice scat of the week, but here comes the burst, and the pain is... And this straight-up draft definitely working a lot better here for T1. They have so much pressure on the Drakes, too. It's either going to be Infernal or Mountain Soul, so that's going to feel pretty nice. Nice engage on Tecaria, though, but he is Pantheon at the end of the day, so he's able to just dodge a lot of that damage. Here comes the follow-up, though. Teddy is going to have to try to ult away, but Dread just has too much damage. Kana into that backline now. Trying to get onto someone. We see the burst onto Bang, but he's not the majority of their damage right now. Here comes Fly, and he's got a lot to come in here. He did use that ultimate already, but low health bars on the side of T1. You can see Fly desperately trying to take out the Olaf, but he just sticks alive for way too long, and Cuz is able to trade that one out so perfectly, and they will finally ace the side of Afrika.
And the flank angle is meanwhile in live. Caster first him in the replay.
Unfortunately, gonna have to interrupt you there, Wolf. He doesn't have his flash, but Afrika are just missing everything, so he's going to get away.
Afrika Freaks really on the back foot now, and it is the Infernal Soul. We mentioned it was going to be great no matter what. The Infernal is going to be so much extra damage, so Afrika Freaks really need to, I mean, hold that thought. This Kana is trying to... trying to join Afrika
Kana's
Freaks.
Kind of in no man's land here. Not sure what he's doing all the way in the enemy jungle. As there's a follow-up from Keen, should be a pretty easy cleanup kill.
Total control. Kana's gonna have teleport, so even though he's backing right now, he will be able to rejoin. His Dread is being very aggressive.
Yeah, and he has the ability to do this. Closer is just gonna get dominated 1v1. Even had Keen coming over. Afrika say, the hell with the Infernal Drake, the hell with the bottom side of the map. We're just gonna push top lane and kill solo laners.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an amazing trade, but if you're just going to simply give the Drake up, then what you're going to have to do is Carrier's coming in.
All right, trying to jump onto Dread here. They might have the damage this time around, and it will be enough. You can see that Keen with this tanky build trying to trade it back, but unfortunately not going to be able to. Takes a while to kill him, and actually the Shuriken misses, so...
Spear misses,
guys.
Void Seeker misses, Keen's like, all right.
He's like, maybe I can kill Keria here.
He might be able to if Kana messes this up. He's going for it.
He flashed. He's going for this one. It's not going to work out, though, I'd imagine. Nope. Okay, finally. Big kill. He's like looking for picks in the enemy jungle and getting extremely aggressive. I kind of like it here, as this isn't much to like here for Keen, as the flash will come out. The spear not going to be enough, actually, as even the Void Seeker not going to be able to take him down. So the tank
with the Graves, like, you're going to have such a hard time. Maybe you get that rotation, you get that pick on a closer, but otherwise, I mean, he's looking for closer here, but if he just walks away.
Yeah, he's just hunting closer. That's basically what he's doing. Kana has a great flank on the back line. You see that Graves immediately is going to go down. And that's a good trade at this point in time. Kana able to kill the Graves. Yeah, they give away the Infernal Soul, and already the Zoe and all of the carries on the side of T1 are way too far ahead. So you'd see they're looking for the pick here. They're trying to get on top of Keria. The cask is going to be good, and they do take him out. This is a great team fight, as Kana is not here yet. And they're going to try to get on top of Closer. Closer doing insane amounts of damage, but he does have to back away eventually. Looking for it now as well. Kana tries to get in there, but it will not be successful. And just like that, Afrika are back in the game.
I mean, that was it. That's the hyper-aggressive engage that you need if you're Afrika Freaks, to blow somebody up. On T1, you get that initial kill, and the fight just goes your way.
You see, now he's even getting aggressive. Keria has to flash away. And that is not where you want your Pantheon to be. And now they've caught Closer in the mid lane. They just blow him up. And that is 2 kills now. As the Olaf isn't able to do anything alone, they're just going to look to dive this one. The cask helping out with the damage. A triple kill now for Bang, who is 6-1. The thing that's good for T1 is that Bang did not pick up his Infinity Edge. He's just before it. So that could be a turning point here in this game, as Afrika are just going to go for the Infernal Drake. You can see here comes the damage from the Zoe. The Drake is going to go the way of Afrika. They're going to find Keria again. And no support on the side of T1. Everybody's zoned to the top side. This is not the team fight you were looking for, and they find the Zoe and just blow her up immediately. Did she even exist in this fight?
No.
That's the question, as she immediately goes down. 4 kills the way of Afrika, and Teddy was not able to do anything. Maybe he'll take out Lahens here, but Afrika don't care. They're pushing to win.
Yeah. I mean, Afrika is going to push this inhibitor down at very least 2 minutes. I mean, you can't win that fight anymore for T1. Here's the engage.
Okay. Some poke onto that front line. Cuz immediately down to about half health, and T1 are just running away. They do not want to engage. They're like, no, we can't fight this. And Dread wasn't even there. That was a 4v5 that Afrika just walked up to T1 and snatched out of their hand like candy from a baby. You know, T1, it seems like finally they were posturing correctly, but it's too little too late. And at least the sleep is good from Closer, but Keen, it just looks like he's playing with his food now.
This is a tragedy for T1.
And unfortunately, we haven't seen one fight where that is the case.
And that Afrika are just going to try to get every inhibitor here. I mean, they have such a nice setup to engage on anyone who steps over the line, and looks like...
Here we go again.
Yep.
Cuz is not a front line, he just immediately dies. And Dread now is front lining. He's gonna die probably here. Has a GA though, so he's just fine. As Closer will get picked. It's looking like this is gonna be a 2-0 in favor of Afrika, as Bang will finally clean up, picks up the quadra kill, and they will make this look easy. 36 minutes into the game, Afrika will do it again and take the 2-0 over T1 tonight.
Talked about Flame Horizon. It's Dread who gets one across the...
That's what he's worried about. It's like, oh man, we got the 2-0, but oh man, I got Flame Horizon. Well, Bang, there's one thing that you got at least ahead of Teddy, and that is more damage. And that's because your team set up more situations and more team fights where you could actually do damage. Take a look at Closer's number. I mean, nearly 30,000 in this game, but at times it felt like he was the only person doing anything.
Yeah.
Because a Zoe from ahead, you know, does have that kind of ability, I suppose. But
she's just so
no
reliant.
follow-up from there.
Yeah.
Africa Freaks locks down this victory after taking down the game up against T1. Let's take a look at the draft first. After losing number 1, actually T1 prioritized Olaf and took it as a B1 card. However, Africa still did not take away Kai'Sa. So Teddy once again was able to play Kai'Sa, and not this time it was not paired up with Pyke, but still they went for this Pantheon, very aggressive pick. They were able to once again exert pressure during the laning phase, but it was really impressive to see that Africa was able to turn the game around based on their teamwork. I think T1 had a very obvious theme for today's gameplay because they always focused on this bottom lane priority and they wanted to play around bot. But everyone criticized the problem of both teams. They always have some weakness for the mid and late game macro, and Africa managed to actually tie this up, whereas T1 still was not able to solve the issue. Overall, Africa, they are always very proactive and aggressive. Sometimes they fail this mission, but still, they always trying to find their agenda and open fights. And they were able to actually, in the end, attack the weakness of T1. Their aggressiveness is the new theme for Africa Freaks. So let's take a look at the first highlight, where Graves was able to make an outplay based on the teamwork on the side of the Africa Freaks. Because Africa had no priority in the mid and bottom lane, well, they actually made a quick rotation to the top lane, so they sent Graves to clear out the top lane wave, and Lehans also placed the ward in the enemy blue buff jungle. And let's see how this all transpires. So Zoe also rotates up in order to clear out the wave on the top lane. So Graves was able to make an assassination play on the enemy mid laner. He had this vision priority to pick up this kill. Africa's rotation has gotten a lot cleaner because they were well aware that they cannot contest for the tricks. They were conceding some of the turrets and also the objectives, but they made a perfect trade rotating to the top side of the map. On the other hand, we can also put it this way. T1 should have been aware of the fact that when the opponents were conceding the objectives, they should have been more aware of the weakness of their side as well. And this is the second replay. I think T1 made a very bad setup for this dragon fight. So because they had vision around the enemy blue buff camp, Zoe should have been the one having the opponents getting zoned out, and also Kai'Sa should have been the one handling the mid lane wave, but Zoe and Pantheon actually rotates to mid to get rid of the wave, and Olaf resets. So they were not able to capitalize on the Zoe's power when it comes to these dragon standoffs. Zoe should have been done a lot of pokes prior to teamfights, but they were in an awkward spot, so T1, we can say they were making some sloppy macro decisions, so Africa Freaks was able to win this clash. It seems like T1 is not on the same page when it comes to team plays. Whereas Africa Freaks was really aggressive, making the plays whenever they saw the opening. I think Africa finally kind of realized how to deal with the crisis they faced during the games. Even though T1 was ahead in Dragon stacks for 3 stacks, they were not able to actually exert their dominance. In the end, Africa Freaks was able to overcome after playing 4K gold behind and lock down the victory to continue their winning streak. And Dread once again picks up this POG. Another fashionable performance coming out from Dread, and also one solo kill stat over there. He was really good on this Graves play, but I also want to give a shout out over to Lehans with the Dredge line and also ultimate. Africa Freaks was able to have a very comfortable team fight, and that was the main factor why Africa Freaks was able to solidify their lead, even though they were playing from behind. After Dread started to play aggressively and proactively, I think Africa started to come back online. Graves with Phase Rush and also Gale Force, a champion like Zoe cannot really escape because... But at the same time, Zoe can also pop Graves during the team fights with the poke damage, but Fred was really on point, making that footsteps during the fights on the Rift.